Are you into innovation and are you considering innovating, or you're thinking to become an entrepreneur and start on your own business venture? Then this video is for you. In this video, I'll be speaking about 10 points that all innovators and all entrepreneurs must consider before they embark on their entrepreneurial journey. Hi, my name is Dr. Nasar Ali from YPS, and I'm here to help you with your personal development with a special focus on 3 pillars: leadership, innovation, and communication. The point number 1 to consider before you start to innovate is you need to find meaning and not make money. So what that means is, before you start on your project to innovate, you need to think about what is the meaning, what is the purpose. It's like having a purpose in life. So you need to understand why is it that you want to innovate, and what will your innovation do for society. So you have to find meaning where you need to be more considerate about other people's needs, and how your innovation is going to help to assist other people to overcome their problems. So finding meaning is very, very important. So for example, if we look at other companies such as Apple, their meaning was to democratize computers. So that's what they've been doing. The Macintosh was developed, and people now all around the world are using computers readily. So they wanted to democratize computers. Similarly, Google, if you see Google, their meaning was to democratize information. So they wanted everyone in the world to have access to all the information that they want. So that's why it's easy now. People are Googling things all the time. Similarly, Amazon, they wanted to democratize commerce. So you are able to buy anything at any time and have it delivered at your home. That's why Amazon is one of the most widely used platforms around the world where people are able to make purchases. And YouTube was developed to democratize videos. So people are easily able to upload their videos, and they get viewing time from people from all over the world. Also, if we look, we've just coming out of the COVID era. During COVID time and lockdown, scientists had a huge challenge to develop vaccines, and they had a very, very short time because people in millions all around the world were dying because of this deadly virus. So these vaccines were developed. So for example, one of the manufacturers was Pfizer. So there was a Pfizer vaccine. So the Pfizer manufacturing their vaccine to save people, their meaning was to actually save human lives. And it wasn't necessarily to make money. However, because they did save lives, people were being given these Pfizer vaccines to protect them against this deadly virus, and millions and billions of people around the world were using this. Obviously, naturally, money was made, but the main objective was the meaning, and the meaning was to save human life and not make money. So you need to make sure that when you innovate, you always make meaning and not money. And point number 2, before you innovate, you need to make sure you're innovating to solve a problem. You don't innovate just for the sake of it. You innovate to solve a problem. And there are many, many problems that we have. So you only need to look around us. So for example, one of the problems that we face in the world is global warming and the climate change. So the earth is getting warmer. So there's many things that we need to do to overcome this and to help the world from warming up and becoming more cool. So one of the things that we could do is to develop new clean energy. So for example, we've got Tesla. The company Tesla is producing cars that are run on electricity and don't rely on petrol or diesel carbon burning fuels. So Tesla is producing these cars to overcome and solve a problem, to protect our environment, to make sure that we're not throwing out carbon-based emissions into our environment and polluting the environment. So always remember, when innovating, you innovate to solve a problem, and there's many problems, so you only need to have a look at the sustainable development goals that the United Nations have set out, and from that there's many areas that we need to work on to help this world to become more sustainable. So point number two, before you innovate, is make sure you innovate to solve a problem. And point number three is that you need to make sure you surround yourself with the right people. Now, especially if you're an entrepreneur or you want to become an entrepreneur and you want to embark on your business venture, then you need to make sure that you surround yourself with the right people. And you are a reflection of the top 5 people that you spend the most time with. So it's very, very important that you carefully choose the people in your inner circle of 5 people. So for example, if you want to become an entrepreneur and or innovator, you need to make sure that in your inner circle of 5 people, one of them is a business related person, an entrepreneur or a person from enterprise, or an innovator. So it's very important that you carefully select the people that you surround yourself with, because you want to be with people who are positive, with a positive mindset, people who are passionate about doing things, achieving goals, and helping others to achieve their goals. So point number 3 is that make sure you surround yourself with the right people. And point number 4 is that you need to do whatever it takes to achieve success. Now, if you're trying to innovate or if you're trying to achieve a business goal, you must not give up. Give up should not be in your dictionary. So make sure, do whatever it takes. If you need to upgrade your skills, if you need to acquire more knowledge, go on some training programs, go on educational program, learn new skills. If you need to make an investment in certain technologies, or you need to hire new people, do whatever it takes to succeed. So make sure point number 4 is do whatever it takes. And point number 5 is that you must find your niche. It's important before you innovate that you find your niche. What is it that you're trying to develop? Who will it benefit? Who is it targeted for? And you must always remember that when innovating, you want to develop something that is unique and also something that is of value to people. Because if you produce something or you develop something that is not unique and that is not of any value, then you're like dead bones. You might as well not exist and just rest in peace. So it's very, very important that you need to make sure that the thing that you're trying to develop, the product that you're trying to bring to the market, is of value and it's very, very unique. So you need to make sure point number 5 is to find your niche. And point number 6 to consider when you're innovating is that you need to jump to the next curve. And it's very, very important that for innovation to take place, you need to jump to the next curve. It's a bit like saying, if you want to innovate or if you want to achieve something, you need to step outside of your comfort zone. So you need to jump to the next curve. So an example is, for example, when ice in the 1800s, ice was harvested. So people would go out to cold countries during winter time and where there were lakes and ponds or rivers, and then they will cut using big saws blocks of ice, and then they would transport them and then sell them to people who would use these ice blocks to actually preserve their food. Then in the 1900s, what happened was ice factories were developed where people were able to produce ice blocks in the factories. So no longer you had to go and harvest ice and go to cold countries during winter time and use these big saws to cut these big blocks of ice. People could just go to the ice factory and they were able to purchase their ice blocks from that. And then some years later, refrigerators were actually developed where you don't even need to go to the ice factory. Everybody had an ice factory in their homes. So there were three curves. Ice harvesting, if you consider that as one curve, and then the ice factory being another curve, and then the refrigerators being the third curve. So it wasn't possible for the innovation to take place at the ice harvesting curve. You had to jump to the next curve, which was the ice factories, and from the ice factories you have to jump to the next curve for the refrigerator. Unfortunately, the people who were involved with ice harvesting business were not the ones who developed the ice factories, and the people who were involved with the ice factory business were not the ones who developed the refrigerator. So always remember, in order to innovate, you must jump to the next curve. So that's point number 6, jump to the next curve. And point number 7 is always keep your innovation simple. Stick to simplicity. And it's Gall's law that states that for complex systems to work, they must have originated from systems that were a lot more simple. So what you need to do is you need to work on systems that are more simple, work on them, and then from that you can expand and elaborate, and from the simple system you can derive the more complex system. So you need to make sure that you got to keep it simple. So for example, there was the discovery of graphene by the Nobel laureates at Manchester University. They got the Nobel Prize for physics for their groundbreaking experiments. And these groundbreaking experiments were that they had a block of graphite and then they put some Scotch tape on top of that, and they quickly removed the Scotch tape from that graphite, and then they had a look at the atoms of carbon that were remaining under the microscope, and they found a layer of graphene. So it's a very, very simple method, yet effective. So you need to make sure that you keep it simple. So point number 7 is keep it simple, and from simple system you can work and develop on that to make it more complex, but always start with simplicity. So keep it simple. And point number 8 is always know the law of the lid. So if you're an aspiring or you're a new entrepreneur, you need to make sure that you understand by the law of the lid. Remember to remove the lid. So an example is the McDonald's story. Now the McDonald's brothers, originally when they started off in the US, they were focusing on producing a new concept of selling food, fast food, and making sure that it was a fast delivery and the consistency of the food quality was maintained. However, they did not know the law of the lid, and it required another entrepreneur named Ray Kroc to come on the scene and help the brothers to actually make this business grow worldwide. And because of Ray Kroc, who introduced the franchise system, McDonald's were able to open branches all around the world. So make sure you know how to lift the lid, because if you leave the lid on, then you're not going to be able to grow much more bigger. So remember to remove the lid, and you let the sky be the lid. So point number 8 is remember to lift the lid. Point number 9 is never let your haters grind you down. And you're going to encounter such people on your journey to becoming an entrepreneur or to innovate, that there'll be people who will be putting you down. That's naturally, as you become more successful, as you become more dynamic, you're going to expect to meet such people. But you've got to remember never to let these people get you down. And it's important, as we spoke early, about making sure your inner circle of 5 people, you have carefully crafted and chosen them people. You only want to be around positive people, people who are there to help you, but never get put off by people who are there to put you down. So that's point number 9. And point number 10 is that sometimes experts can be clueless. So don't always follow the advice of people who are supposed to be experts in the field. Now there's many examples I can give you, but I don't want to make this video too long. So I'm just going to tell you one example. And that one example is someone called Thomas Watson, who was the chairman of IBM company in 1943, made the statement that I think there is a world market for maybe 5 computers. Now, if you listen to Thomas Watson's advice, what he said then 5, if you see today, myself, I have 5 computers in my own home with my children, my wife, and many other people. Everybody in the household has a computer to themselves. So clearly, Thomas Watson was wrong in his prediction about the world market for computers. So there's many other examples, as I mentioned, but never get put off by what experts say. So these were the 10 points I wanted to tell you about. So if you're an innovator or you are an entrepreneur who is about to embark on your entrepreneurial journey, make sure you consider these 10 points.